This lesson is going to be looking at solving compound inequalities. So the first thing we want to look at is an example of the OR. So it says 5x plus 1 is less than negative 4, or 6x minus 2 is greater than 10. So you want to look at solving each one of these inequalities separately. So the first one, 5x plus 1 is less than negative 4. I want to isolate the variable, so I need to get rid of the number that's furthest from the variable on the same side of the inequality symbol. So I need to get rid of the 1. So I have opposite of plus 1, which is minus 1. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. The two 1's over here cancel each other out because 1 minus 1 is 0. So I'm left with 5x is less than, and then negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. I then want to get rid of the 5 over here with the x. The 5 is being multiplied by x, so I need to do the opposite, which is division, and I want to divide both sides by 5. Those two 5's cancel each other out. I'm left with x, my inequality symbol, which is less than, and then negative 5 divided by positive 5 is negative 1. Over here, I have 6x minus 2 is greater than 10. So I have to add 2 to both sides. They cancel out. I'm left with 6x. My inequality symbol is greater than, and then 10 plus 2 is 12. Then I divide both sides by 6. They cancel out, and I'm left with x is being greater than 12 divided by 6, which is 2. So what does that look like when it's graphed? When it's graphed, I have my graph down here at the bottom of the screen. Both my solutions, x is less than negative 1 and x is greater than 2, are solely greater than or less than. They're not the or equal to section. So I want to graph each individual inequality first. So the first one, x is less than negative 1. I have my open circle on top of negative 1, and it's less than, so my arrow goes to the left. My second solution is that x is greater than 2. So my inequality circle is on top of 2, and then it's not filled in because it is only greater than, and then it's greater than 2, so my arrow goes to the right. So this one is a little bit different. This is an and. So negative 5 is less than or equal to 3x plus 4 is less than 19. In order to solve these, where it's one whole set, you need to start by working from the center and isolating that variable. So if I'm looking at this time, I have 3 sides of my equation. I have this side, and that side. So I have 2 inequality symbols. So I need to work on isolating the variable, isolating the x. So the furthest thing that's on the same side of it, that's from it, is the 4. So it's plus 4. So on all 3 sides, I want to subtract 4. So over here, negative 5 minus 4 is negative 9. I have my inequality symbol is less than or equal to. I didn't do anything with the 3x, so it's still there. 4 minus 4 is 0, so they cancel each other out. Then I have nothing else. Then I have my less than symbol, and then 19 minus 4 is 15. The only other thing I need to do to isolate the x is to divide by 3, because it's multiplied by 3 right now. So I want to take all 3 sides, and I want to divide them by 3. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. Then I have my inequality symbol. I divide it by a positive, so it can stay the same. So it's x, or is less than or equal to. These two 3's cancel each other out. There's where the x is left. I have my inequality symbol, and then 15 divided by 3 is 5. So my solution is that x is greater than or equal to negative 3, and x is less than 5. So that, what it would look like in a graph, is on this next page. Notice both of the arrows come together. It forms one graph with 2 endpoints. One of them on the negative 3, that is, being filled in because it's negative 3 is less than or equal to x. So when you graph these, my recommendation to you is to start by graphing each inequality first, separately, and then connect them as a whole. So my first inequality is x is greater than or equal to negative 3. So I have my circle at negative 3. It's greater than or equal to, so it's filled in. And then since it's greater than, my arrow goes to the right. My other inequality in that one inequality is x is less than 5. So my circle is at 5. it's just strictly less than, so it's not filled in. And then since it is less than, my arrow goes to the left-hand side. Therefore, my graph would look like this, where you have the circle filled in on the -3, and then my line stretches out until you get to the 5, where that circle is open.